Hello everyone, my name is Mike and I am the co-founder of the Wanda Pratnicka Center. Together with my wife, Wanda Pratnicka, we have until several years ago traveled the world to talk about the phenomenon of the spirit attachment. We have been to all over Europe and also to all over the United States, and later on we have stopped this because of COVID, and we thought that it might be better to concentrate on the online information. After these couple of years, I have decided to do a podcast that is going to be a series that will explain the phenomenon of spirit attachment. On our road through many countries, we have seen that many people were affected by the spirit attachment. Without even knowing it, spirit attachment is really common. It is not only valid for some people who are heavily disturbed, it is also valid for many others who are experiencing lighter symptoms of spirit attachment. So it is possible to have attachment and not even recognize it. However, the spirit attachment is becoming stronger and stronger over time. But for you to understand the subject correctly, you would need to first understand the subtle basis of human. We are not only our physical body, of course, I am sure most of you are aware of the fact. We have also several other bodies that are going to be very important for this consideration. The physical body is our most dense body. We have also something called the etheric body. It is the source of our energy. And then we have a emotional body. This is going to be the most important part of this consideration. It is built of our emotions. And over the emotional body, we can connect to other emotional sources that are actually lying outside of our own emotional system. It means that we are able to produce our own emotions and to form a kind of sphere that is originating only from our own emotions, but we can also connect to energies, emotional energies of other people. You have had this phenomenon many times when you enter a room with close people who are having a certain energy, like let's say joy. It is very easy for you to also feel joyous. If you enter a room where people are scared or are depressed or are experiencing negativity this way or the other, you will be able to sense it very well too. So over the emotional body, we are also connecting to non-physical realms with emotions residing in the non-physical realm, in this case in the astral realm. And astral realm, or using a different language, the emotional world, is a place where spirits or ghosts of human beings are residing, and that's the place where they need to decide whether they want to go to higher frequency fields, to higher vibrational fields, to make the transition to the light, or they can decide not to do that transition. They will then stay in the lower astral realm, and they will go through a very difficult path, actually, because this is not the way how we are supposed to do after our physical death. So the physical body dies, we are disconnecting from that body, and so we have the choice either to go higher or to stay. To stay is a very, very poor decision. It has a lot of negative consequences. It is in no way a punishment for anything. There is no such thing as punishment in the universe. Anyway, this is something each of us should understand very, very well. Because if you think that you are being punished, then we have the tendency to fall into emotions like guilty feelings, which are always going to have a negative expression in our lives, because that is a negative emotion in its core. So let's assume that we have a soul that has passed through the death of the physical body, regardless of the cause, and we are finding ourselves in the emotional world after a short period of time. So being there, we can strive for the light, and I can only encourage anyone to do that, especially if you know about it. And that is also an additional advantage of having the knowledge I am talking about right now. Or you can stay. We're staying in the emotional world for a large variety of reasons. Mostly it is the fear of going into the light. Oftentimes people have fear of the light. It is because we are erroneously thinking that we are guilty in any way, and if we are going to go into the light, then we're going to have to experience the consequences in this higher world. So the Catholic Church was here talking about the realm called purgatory, where we have to cleanse ourselves, and also the consequence of living a sinful life is to go into the hell. So many people are thinking they lived a sinful life, and they are very much afraid to go higher, to avoid the so-called hell. And here we have to say that this is a pretty misunderstood concept, and that is because we are here on earth to live our lives, to have experiences, to be sometimes happy and sometimes sad, and sometimes have very difficult experiences like failures or the death of our near ones. But these experiences are very necessary in order for us to develop. And so the intelligence, the higher intelligence, the universe is willing for us to have experiences. And nobody should think that they have done anything wrong in their lives. Yes, we may have done terrible things, wrong things, immoral things, yes. But at the same time, these experiences were important, mostly because out of our experiences arises a word called karma. And karma is just the consequences of what we did in life. We will have to experience these consequences. Again, not punishment, but only consequence, in order for us to understand that there is something called pain that we ourselves have caused for others, for example. If we misbehave towards others, if we are doing them any kind of harm or pain, then we will have to experience exactly that same situation in our lives. Sometimes it will be soon, in this lifetime. sometimes the karma may show itself after many, many incarnations. And that's also the reason why we are thinking that the world is unjust, that the world is not giving us what we are giving to others, because we may have an incarnation that we're giving a lot to others. And even though we are experiencing negativity, we're experiencing pain, and that pain is originating from our previous actions. So everyone who understands karma, I mean the deeper level of the karma, will understand that this is only consequence, not punishment, and that by going through that consequence, I will more and more understand what is pain for others and what is pain for myself, that is originating from the pain that I caused to others. Okay, so we are on the emotional level after our physical body has passed, and we find ourselves in front of the decision, going away higher or staying here. The other reason for staying among the living is that it is a world that we really know. For some, it is the only world they know. You probably know that it is a great suffering for people if they get into a situation where they face the unknown. Most people are thinking that the unknown is dangerous, that if we cannot expect what is happening to us, then we're not safe. This, of course, is not true. We are being guided by the universe all the time. There is not even a split of a second where we are not guided and protected. So we are just in a situation where we are just feeling unsafe in front of the unknown. That is causing many people not to go away. I mean the human souls who are in the position of deciding whether to go away into the light or to stay here among the living. Sometimes people are staying among the living because they are very much attached to this world. They might have built a level of wealth, they might have had very close relationships to their near ones, they may be attached to what they have done during lifetime, like this can be their passions, this can be their daily jobs, this can be something they are attached to in general, like substances, like addictions to alcohol, to drugs, even to cigarettes. So if we are in any way attached to things, to substances, we will have a difficult time of going away. And that is why I am trying to convince people that they should have nothing they are attached to. Because out of attachment originates addiction, and each of you know that addiction is a very negative and very destructive habit. So again, we are there and we are seeing our near ones who are very much in sadness because we have passed from the world of the living, and so this might be in itself a very important moment in our existence, because we might even decide to stay among the living, meaning in the lowest realms of the emotional world, of the astral world, in order to stay close to our near ones, to be able to be some kind of help for them. What each of us should know is that this in the long run is not going to help any living person. This is going to lead into a situation where we are staying among the living. We can contact them every night. When they fall asleep, their emotional body is getting outside their physical realm or their physical body, and so that moment their emotional body, because that's the body they are in sleep in, and our own emotional body can talk to each other. We can talk, we can share experiences, we can share emotions. So this is the time each of us can meet their near ones after they have transitioned to the other world. If we are deciding to stay, this is going to have a very, very poor consequences. I am going to talk about this more in the next podcast so that you get a very detailed and a very clear understanding of what the fate of the human soul is after it is transitioning to the emotional world, after it is deciding for the light or not for the light. I will give you a very, very clear explanations about this. This knowledge is very important so that your soul, who you are, and your entire being can decide wisely after it has transitioned to the other world. So I would like to thank you for today, wish you the very best life, and let's see each other next time. Thank you.